Hi kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today, I'm doing a video that's really late. I'm doing my predictions of 2024. I know it's already February, but better late than never. So here is what I both want to see and what I expect to see in the year 2024. First things first, a little flashback to 2023 and maybe a little bit of 2022. We pretty much had an era where a lot of people tried lots of new locks. We had the popularity of the button lock going to full gear. We have here the CJRB Pyrite, and the one that kind of started this whole craze, Protect Malibu, great button locks. We also had the introduction of a lot of new locks, such as on this guy, the Civivi Vision FG by Snackstun with the super lock. We also had the Demco lock that became more and more popular. And last year, towards the end of last year, we had a lot of interesting locks, button actuated liner locks and frame locks. And I'm all for it because to me, the most interesting part about pocket knives are the locking mechanisms. However, I think that this year, 2024, that sentiment is going to slow down. We might see new locks, or most likely, we're going to see the optimization of a lot of the new locks that have come in towards the end of last year. But this year, we are firmly in the era of Magna Cut, and I'm all for it. Now, according to Eric Lesser of Spyderco, Magna Cut has a lot of the similar properties to Spyderco's LC200N, which is a tough steel. It is a relatively good hard steel, so it's going to hold an edge relatively well. But the biggest factor of this knife is the combination of pretty good edge retention, good toughness, and amazing rust resistance. So LC200N is good enough to be in their Salt series, and according to SHOT Show this year, which so many companies are using Magna Cut, Boker, Spyderco, I think Benchmade, I think Chris Reeve is also using Magna Cut. It really shows the power and the era of Magna Cut that we are in right now. According to Eric Lesser, the properties of Magna Cut are very similar to the properties of LC200N. Now, among the massively rust-resistant steels or effectively or practically rustless knives, knife blade steels out there, Magna Cut seems to be a lot easier to manufacture and to heat treat compared to LC200N. And yeah, again, this is according to Eric Lesser of Spyderco, and that's why he is bringing it into the realm of the Spyderco Salt series. But what's interesting is that he's maintaining the manufacturing of some of the LC200N knives. I'm not sure why that is. I've seen some rust testing between LC200N and Magna Cut, and it does seem like LC200N just has the 1% edge in rust resistance compared to Magna Cut. But in every practical sense, unless you're like breaking down a car battery, it's not really going to make that big of a difference. You have to submerge it in salt water that's salted in the ocean for more than a week to get it to even rust on the surface. So just a little bit of research I've done on the blade steel. Overall, I think it's cool. I think that the ability of Magna Cut to be easier to manufacture and the ability for it to be more accessible to a lot of people means that it's a big upgrade to your S30V, S35VNs that we have in the world right now. Next up, it might be a little controversial or might not be that surprising, which is like multi-tools will actually be trendy to carry this year. Now, I'm only saying this because of videos after video of Zach in the Wild and Ben Peterson from NAFs. A lot of them are really talking about carrying multi-tools on a day-to-day basis as their main tool. So in the past, people used to carry a pen, a light, and a knife, and that's about it. But a lot of people carry a Victorinox SD Classic, or in my case, I carry a Leatherman Squirt PS4. However, that is not like the only kind of tool I'm carrying, but that, from what I can see, is really changing. And this is really inspired by a video from the Everyday Commentary. It's another YouTube channel, and he talked about how he carries all these expensive knives. He carries the Sebenza and things of that nature. But watching his son use a Victorinox multi-tool and just beats on it non-stop in the playground while camping, while hiking, he's really impressed with the durability of a Victorinox multi-tool and says that at the end of the day, his preference to folding knives, high-end folding knives, are really just a bit of snobbery, and he's actually starting to go more and more back down into the rabbit hole of carrying multi-tools. And I think that's a great thing because there's a lot of variety and there's also a lot of versatility when it comes to all these pocket-based multi-tools. So I think that will become trendy again. Now, if I can just shout out an interesting multi-tool service provider, check out Robert J. Lesser on Instagram. He can take any Victorinox and customize it however you wish, and also like change up the tool set so you can get the exact tool set that you want. I've been looking into it, but it's really expensive, guys, so just keep that in mind. It's a luxury more than anything. Most Victorinox are fine the way they are. If you want to change the scales, we have lots of aftermarket scale makers. If you want to customize it, boy, is that going to be expensive. Now, the next thing, and this one might be controversial, is that we are moving into an era of budget Chinese-made multi-tools. Now, this is kind of a response of the price of Leathermans going up, and up. The Leatherman Wave is now, I think, $120, and then the Arc, which I actually think is not badly priced for the technology and the features that you have, is $230. And for the regular person or the regular tradesman, that is way higher than most of them, including myself, are willing to spend on when it comes to multi-tools. So we can actually see a whole line of brands like Bibury and Nextool coming up with many interesting variations of the multi-tool. This is, I gotta admit, this is a Leatherman Wave clone, the original Wave, not the Wave Plus. But this guy has been with me through many hiking expeditions. You can see there, there's a, sorry, wrong blade steel. Yeah, you can see there a little bit of rust because I was carrying it in my bag and my sweat like kind of like permeated through the blade. So I'm going to be sanding that off in a little in a little while. But you actually are going to see a lot more really good budget alternatives to something like the Leatherman Wave and maybe even the Leatherman Arc. And I've definitely seen by companies like Bibury, not really clones, because they are stamped with their own brand name. You're going to see alternatives to the Leatherman Signal. But let me know if you personally find it ethical. I've used this guy. I fixed my stove. I fixed my kitchen sink. I've used it to set up my camp when I go camping with my family. It's more than enough for what I need, and I don't really see the need to jump up to a Leatherman branded multi-tool anymore. But that is just my humble opinion. Now, the fourth prediction I have for this year is that I predict that this year is going to be the death of Ultem. I'm not a fan of Ultem. It looks like apple juice that is frozen, or some people think it's like very thick urine that is frozen. I personally do not find it attractive at all. And from what I've seen, okay, if you get any alcohol on it, it's going to get brittle. Okay, with my knife, sometimes I use alcohol, like this guy here. Yeah, this spirit here to clean my knives. Okay, and sometimes the alcohol ends up on the scale, and if it's G10 scale, all I need to do is just take any oil like a mineral oil or something, and just dab the oil onto the G10, and then pretty much there, just rub it in, and then it looks good as new. But with Ultem, it does for some reason make it crumble. It crumbles like styrofoam, and I don't know what that is all about, and I don't even find it attractive. I expect it to die because people are starting to realize that it's just a fad, and it doesn't have any improvements over something like G10. It doesn't have any improvements over all the other esoteric or weird knife handles out there. I have seen something interesting from Civivi though. I forgot what material is it, but it is like a clear plastic kind of thing. It is not Ultem, but it's clear plastic. It has kind of a cloudy, very lightly cloudiness to it, which I really like. So I'm excited for that to come in. I'm excited for that to kind of gain a little bit more popularity. Last but not least, last prediction of this year is that microbands will actually start becoming more and more commonplace. This is a microband. This is a Zelos coming out of Singapore. Uses Seiko movements, 40 millimeters, about 12.5 millimeters thick, 200 meters water resistance. It has gorgeous lume, and I just love that face, that meteorite face that you have there. And this is, again, just like with Leatherman going up in price, this is also a response of the traditional watch brands going up in price. Your Omegas and your Tudors, and let's not even talk about Rolex. But the fact that those watches are really going up and up in price means that you're going to have these brands who do not necessarily have a lot of brand recognition, so they are going to have to focus on producing a very good product for a very decent price. This guy comes in at just around 450 USD now. You can check out the website for current listings. A lot of them are sold out right now, but you can get a lot of the newer, different colored ones for like less than $500. I got this at an early bird price for $389. Okay, that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any special predictions coming for this year, or what you're excited for this year. Okay, it is the year of Magna Cut. It is the year of budget multi-tool options. It is the year of carrying multi-tools in a trendy fashion, and it is the year of microband watches. Thanks guys, and as always, stay ready.